Hi, it's Dreamy Pisces again. I knew I wanted to make a video today, but I didn't know exactly what video I was going to do. I don't really know how much time I have because my phone is doing something weird right now. It's saying I have 30 minutes recording, then it's like 15 minutes. I'm not really sure. So I had two topics that I wanted to discuss, but I'm going to pick one, whatever way that I'm led. That's where I will go. But the two topics were religion. Oh, religion. Everybody gets super ultra sensitive when we talk about religion, but we have to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about it because we have to know certain things. My other topic that I wanted to talk about was, I want to talk about a different time. I would like to, that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to save the religion one for another day. Whenever the Most High gives me the message to give to the people, I will give it. You know, it's something else when you're one of the messengers of peace and love in a world full of fear and anxiety and terror and abuse and unfaithful and unloyal and all of these negative things. But then when you are given the message to give to the people that don't want to hear it, people don't want to hear anything about their behavior and what they should be doing and what they, calling out their things, and having to give the people to let them know, you guys, we got to do better. But I want to talk about a different time that has always been near and dear to my heart, and I never fully understood why, because it's a different time, it's a different age. We are currently in May of 2015. Things are different now. We are in what they call the technological age. This is the age of technology, where we are pretty much owned, operated, and ran by technology, which is artificial electricity. Well, it's electricity ran by man. It's not. Yeah, that's kind of the best way. They control the switches of the electronics. So, and I'm on a phone right now operated by electronics. I have I work on a computer that is ran by electronics. The lights that we use are ran by electronics. I could go on and on and on all day long for everything that is ran and would not work without this electricity that they have provided us for. It is not natural. We have to pay for this. They make a profit off of someone's invention. They're making big profits off of it. But let me take you back. Okay, so like I was saying, I got a little off track. I have always been very much so attracted, more so connected to the era of, I say, the 60s and 70s. I used to always say the 70s because that's just kind of what I knew about it. And I always figured that I was drawn to that era due to the fact that I enjoyed their fashion. I have natural hair, afros, flowing dresses, peace signs, and bell bottoms. I've always loved the fashion. I can remember even when I was in the 7th grade, we had a Halloween festival at school, and you could dress up, and I dressed up like a hippie. I mean, that was just, and that was when I was 13 going on 14 years old. I have always just had a draw to that era. And now that I'm a lot more older and mature, I realize that I am drawn to that era, not because of the clothing per se, even though I do love the style of that age. It's very colorful, but more so because of the passion of the people, of the voices that were speaking out against the injustices that were going on in the world. We don't have that anymore. We are more so focused and mentally, and everything about us is geared towards entertainment, money, materialism, and plastic. A lot of plastic things. We no longer are passionate about causes and things that are going on in the world. And when we do respond to these things, we respond with violence. We do not respond with positivity. We do not respond. We respond, violence begets more violence. And that is not the way to win. That is not the way to win in 2015. What they did back in the 60s and the 70s, you had thinkers. You had people that read books, that didn't just stay in the club all the time. That's where we are right now as a people, as a whole. And I'm not just talking about black people. Yes, I do gear a lot of my messages towards my brothers and sisters of brown skin tone, but I'm speaking about all people. I'm speaking about white, Hispanic, black, Indian, Filipino, Chinese, Japanese, Dominican, every group of people, every quote unquote race, every quote unquote class of individuals. I'm speaking about everybody. We are hooked on the wrong stuff. And we wonder why we are in the mess that we are in. We wonder why we are depressed. We wonder why we are dealing with anxiety and other mental health issues. We wonder why we are so sick. In the 60s and the 70s, we had people that stood up and said, hey, this is not right. Hey, it is not right that airplanes should be able to drive right over our backyard and spray chemicals into the air, and no one does anything about it. No one asks the question. No one says anything. In the 60s and the 70s, you would have had a slew of people that would probably have been kicking down the White House's door saying, we are not going to stand for this. Why are you killing us with the chemicals in the air? And they would picket and they would fuss. They would get on their bullhorn. They would have sit-ins. They would do all of these things. But we have lost that passion, and we have lost that drive for humanity. We have lost that caring for humanity. They killed our leaders that stood up for us and had the voice for us, and replaced it with entertainment and entertainers. We allow people to, we have allowed actors to be our speakers. Our government is in a very bad way. It's been in a bad way for a long time, but it's way worse now. And we have to realize that behind the government, there is another government behind that government. And behind that government is something else. And we are fighting the war, not against the government or the government behind the government, but we are fighting a war, a spiritual war against something else. That thing over there. And we know what that thing is. We know what that evil spirit is. We got to do better. It's 2015. Where are the fighters? Where are the people that says, I'm going to turn this TV off because it's killing my children's brains? Where are the people that's going to write to the newspaper? I'm going to take it upon myself and write to the newspapers and ask them, why are you letting them spray these chemicals? Why are you not saying anything? Why are you not reporting on this? Guess why? Because the powers behind the government control the media. But they have taken away our voice. We have to regain our voice, and we have to stand up. We're scared now because we have seen what they have done to our leaders in the past that stood up for us. They were murdered or jailed or, things. But somebody has to stand up. And why can't it be me? Why can't it be you? If it's enough of us to stand up against these evils, the evil will crumble. But we let it do whatever it wants to do, and it gets stronger. And everybody's waiting on Jesus. Instead of waiting on Jesus, you need to be moving your feet. You need to be being a better person, and you need to be speaking out against injustices in the world. Or what's the point of living if we're not going to fight for this gift that has been given to us? The trees, the natural elements, all a gift of the Most High that we have used and abused, and now we are totally dependent upon the thing that was first given to us to help us to survive. Now we have to go out there and pay for it because we no longer know how to farm. We no longer know how to do any of the things with our hands because we are stuck and in need of machines. People, you got to wake up. This is just a message of think about it. Just think differently. Just think. The first part of realizing that you are being oppressed is to see the oppression. Once you can see the oppression, then you can start to work to figure out how to fight it. The first way that we have to fight the oppression is to deal with what is inside of us that the oppression has caused. We have to heal in here so we can give it out to everybody else. All that love and peace and healing. And then once you heal, then you stand up and then you fight the good fight. Join me. Let's get our lives right and fight this good fight. We don't have a lot of time. I send this message in love and peace. I send this message with love. It's time to fight.